Welcome again to Rev's IT. For a long time now I've been looking at several different types of cameras, alternatives to the GoPro line, and I've reviewed quite a few now, and some of them have been good, some of them not so good. But I've been looking lately for something a little bit different. Most of the ones I've reviewed don't seem to have any sort of image stabilization apart from just one or two. The GoPros of course have this. But none of them have optical stabilization, and the only ones I know of really are the Sony lines, the 3000s. But there are one or two coming out now which are a little different, and they approach things differently, and that's what I've got here today. This is an unboxing of a camera, an action camera, which is built onto a gimbal, or the gimbal is part of the camera, or the camera is part of the gimbal. Anyway, let's get this unboxed and we'll see. Let's open this up. So, where's the tab here? I think I've got it here. Now you may be thinking DJI at this point, but this is actually the Feiyu Pocket stabilized camera, and let's get it unpacked, and I'll tell you why I chose this, apart from the fact that it was half the price of the DJI. Now, as ever, I'll tell you, I actually bought this out of my own money. This has not been sent to me in any way, so I have no connection with Feiyu apart from using their products. My other gimbal is a Feiyu gimbal as well. And when I saw this, I thought, well, we'll have a look. As I said, it was half the price on the Amazon website because it was on the Amazon warehouse website, which usually means that they returns, but this is, as you can see, a sealed unit, brand new, and it looks perfect. So let's get this out. It's quite tightly packed in there, so let's put the knife safely out of reach so I don't stab myself. So let's look at the packet a quick second before we start. So on the back, not a lot. On the side, not a lot. On the front, not a lot. Doesn't tell you much, does it? All very secret. So let's have a look inside. It's one of these boxes that you have to shake to get down. There we go. So what have we got in the box? We've got our usual paperwork, pocket guide, warranty card. Off to the drawer of obscurity with them then. Oh, there's something else in there. We want you, okay? For more information, visit our site. No idea what that's about. I'll check that over there. The only thing I will need to do apart from actually take the camera out is to go to the website and get the app as well, because the app has some extra controls, I believe, in the settings section that are not directly controlled on the camera itself. Now this is actually the second camera that I've got. The first one I did have a little bit of a problem with. I sent it back, full refund, straight away, no problem whatsoever. So I reordered and got this one instead. As you can see, the film is still on it, on the camera lens and everything. So you get the camera with the gimbal built in, or the gimbal with the camera built in, whichever way you want to say it. You get a case, if I can get it out of the case. Doesn't want to come out. With a little silicone strap on it, that's nice, so the camera doesn't fall out. Inside the case you get a USB, right angled USB-A to a USB Type-C, and you get a lanyard, which is a little hole there that you can fit onto the camera, and the camera should fit in the case. There you go, just like that. Turn that over. so that the lens is on top, don't scratch it, and don't think there's anything else in the box. Can't seem to get that bit of plastic out, so you get no extras with it, just the camera, USB, lanyard and the carrying case. So let's have a little look at the camera. I'll tell you the specifications of it, which are very, very good, and we'll have a look at the software setup of it, both on the camera, because this is a touchscreen, and in the app itself. So let's have a quick look around the camera then. On the side here you have a power on off switch. The back does look as if it's removable, but it does have 2 screws down there. But it definitely looks as if it's got little cutouts there. That might be for some sort of a mount perhaps, but it does look as if it slips off once you took the screws out. You've got a microphone in the bottom there. You've got the micro SD card slot there. USB Type-C is there. You have a record button, a menu button, a light in the middle there, and I think there may be also another microphone in there. And that's it really. You've got the gimbal on the top and the camera, and then let's switch it on. And while it's doing that, I'll tell you some of the specifications. First of all, it's very light. It's only 115 grams. If you see some of the modern day GoPros and such like, you'll see that they are absolutely huge these days and quite heavy with it. I saw one vlogger actually with what looked like a camera and mounting system, which was nearly as big as his helmet. This is much smaller, much lighter. Now let's just turn the camera around. There we go. So now you can see the camera lens. So on only 115 grams. It records in 4K 60 FPS native. No interlacing. This is a proper 4K 60 FPS camera and up to 120 max bitrate. So really high quality. The sensor is a Sony CMOS. So it's, you know, a high quality sensor as well. 6 axes of course on the stabilization. 1.3 inch touchscreen, very sensitive, very fast, and it can do 360 POV video or photographs if you wanted to. It has static track, time lapse, hyperlapse, several auto panorama modes, 8 times slow motion mode. So there's so much built into this. There are loads of effects built in. There's the app as well, with which you can control the camera and adjust the settings. You can have a follow mode or a follow all mode, so it can track yourself or your car, your bike or whatever. Simplified instructions, very straightforward, nothing complex with this, easy to use. So that's a little bit about it. As I said, I put the SD card in now. You do need, it's a micro SD actually, you do need a U.3 or U3 micro SD card, because it's 4K and the high bit rate, you need a really fast micro SD card. So that's a little bit about it. The battery in it is 7.7 volts, 738 watt hours, so it's a good battery. Lasts for up to 2 hours they say, so we'll wait and see about that. 4.5 hours working at 1080-60, or just over 3 hours working at 4K 30, 2 hours at 4K 60. So that's a little bit about that. Body is all aluminium alloy, so it's not plastic. Really nice, and it's quite small, as you can see. It's really neat and tidy and very easy to use. So now I've told you a bit about the actual specifications of the unit. Let's have a little look at setting it up and how to use it. First of all, the screen, as I said, is a touch screen. You can use the app as well if you want to. So let's get this up so you can see it a bit better, and I'll make sure it's in focus. And then slide down, settings. Tells you the battery life, SD card, and it tells you that the tilt control is off, the key tone is on, that's the beeps it makes when you're doing things. And as you can see, it's a little line at the top, so you know there's another menu. close, so auto flicker is off. They use close instead of off for some reason, I don't know why. Night mode is off. Auto power mode, so if I do that, after a minute now it'll switch off. Then you can calibrate. You do that by standing the unit up like that and clicking that button, and then it'll calibrate itself. You can turn the Wi-Fi on and off, so you can attach it to the app. And then you've got your metering, your spot metering, average metering, and then you got a little bit more language, reset device info. So if I go into device info, VCAM 185, 2008 firmware, and then the serial number. So there's that, and then we go back out, slide up again. Now if we slide up instead of down, we've got centering, we've got photo mode, motion mode, smooth, and then we've got pan mode. Do that again, face tracking, follow mode, and then back to all follow mode. If we go that way, we see what files are on the SD card, and then if we go that way, we can have photo, video, slow-mo, time-lapse, pano, which is panoramic, and so on. Now the buttons also, you've got of course your record button there. This button does similar to the menu. You press it once, pan mode, follow mode, all follow mode. Press it twice, recenters it, press it 3 times, swings it round. So that's the camera then. Now let's have a little look at the app on the phone and see how that is used to control the extra settings and the phone itself. Let's actually set it up. Okay, so there are 2 apps you can get from Feiyu. The Feiyu On app is the one that you use with the gimbal, the camera gimbals, but the Feiyu Cam app is the one you need for this camera. So let's open that up. So it says connect to Pocket. So the first thing we need to do then is to go into settings, switch on the Wi-Fi, and of course it's the standard code 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Connect to the Pocket camera. Takes me to the Wi-Fi settings, VCAM, and then enter that 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Connect. Back to the camera. So it tells me now that there's new firmware available, which it's already downloaded. So click OK. And I'll take a little break while that's doing that. Okay, so now the camera firmware has been updated, but I also got a notification at the end of it to say that the app itself had an update. So I've updated that as well. So let's go back and connect the camera. We have to go back into there. Get rid of the notification. Connect to the camera. So now we're in the app itself. As you can see, it's fairly simple layout. All your modes there. You're in the first one, you go into this one, it tells you your account settings, and then there's tutorials in that one. To get into the camera itself, by the way, this actually shows your videos and your photos when you've used the camera. So click on the top there and it takes you into the camera control. Now then, the camera's set up there and it's switched on. It's actually come up in a narrower field of view. If you look at it looks a bit hazy at the moment. I am taking the plastic cover off the lens, of course. So narrow field of view. To change that then to the full field of view, you go to stabilize, and it gives you the full 120 degrees field of view. Now I'm going to go into this menu, and I'm not going to go through this bit because I'm going to click on this first, advanced menu, Otherwise I'd just be doubling up. I may as well just do it all at the same time. So you've already seen the quality setting there for smooth or stabilized. Anti-flicker, so if you've got a screen you're trying to videotape, or some of the light flickering at various frequencies, you can try and alleviate that. So you've got 50 Hertz, 60 Hertz and close. I just leave that off myself and adjust it if I need to in post. Grid, so you can put your grid on and off. Watermarks, you can have your time and date and so on. Movie format, MP4 or MOV, depends what software you're using. If you're Apple or Microsoft, you might want it MP4 for Microsoft, MOV for Apple. Color, you've got normal, you've got FY log, so you can again adjust all the color settings in post, and if you go to the website they give you the FY log plugin as well for your software. Volume adjustment for the microphone, mute it, low, medium and high. White balance on auto, sunny day, overcast day, incandescent for indoors, fluorescent, and then back to auto. Then you've got a more setting. Click on that, you've got format SD card, which we've already done, and device information. If you go to device information, we can see we're now on 2538 VCAM 2. Now we've got an auto setting up there as well. I haven't touched that yet, so let's see what that does. I think it just sets everything to automatic rather than your manual settings. Next button is this one here, which is very interesting. If you click that, the camera turns round, and then as you move the phone, it moves the camera. So the phone itself becomes the controller. Turn that off. Just switch that back up again. There we go. Turn that off. Then you've got the next button here. Now this is for your auto tracking. So basically, if you're tracking a vehicle or a person, you'd set them up on the screen, click that, and it would lock on to that person. Next one is your video resolutions. So you've got 1080, 2.7 and 4K. So if you want it 4K, and then FPS, we can go all the way down to 24, 25, 30, 48, 50 and all the way up to 60, and then quality low and high, so we keep that on high. So now set up to 4K 60 high quality, so it uses the maximum bit rate. Again, we have down the next section here, we have recenter. Recenter is the camera. That one turns the camera around. The next one then is this one here, which is the follow modes. You have fast follow for fast moving vehicles, people running, that type of thing, and smooth follow for people who are moving a bit slower, for videotaping water and waterfalls and various things like that, I suppose. Next then you have some more modes. You've got your pan mode, follow mode, which we've discussed up there with that button as well. You can lock onto the person or object. All follow, which follows everything that you've already set the camera to, so whatever it was pointing at when you set it, it'll follow that direction. And pan mode, again back to pan mode. So we'll go and set it to all follow, and again the last one there is the flip, and this is a little joystick again, so you can use the joystick as well. So that's all the settings in there. Okay then, the next thing is to get out and use it and to see what the quality is going to be like. I'm going to do that in the second part because I want to do all of that in 4K 60 to actually give the camera a real good outing. For now then, thank you for watching.